Hey everybody, Patrick Gnarly here. Just wanted to talk about the new Harley Benton I got. This is the DC-580. I purchased this with my own money. Nobody sent this to me. I got this of my own volition, so I wanted to make sure that was pretty clear because I see a lot of reviews on TikTok where they just get sent a guitar and they don't disclose that. It's pretty weird. But anyways, just want to talk about this guitar. It's fantastic. I really like it. But I did want to clear up some stuff that people talk about online. I don't think it's the second coming of Christ. I don't think it's like the greatest guitar ever made. There's a lot of people that act like Harley Benton is the greatest thing in the world. But I will say this. For the money, I don't think you can buy a guitar better than this. I paid $250. I got it used. So there are a couple things on here that are like, you could probably argue it might have been used or something like that. But is it better than Epiphone? We'll get to that. Is it better than Gibson? We'll get to that. Anyways, so let's talk about the pros and cons. So the pros and cons of this guitar is it looks just like an SG. So if you look at it, the headstock and everything, it looks pretty good. It's got the trapezoid inlays. It has like pseudo binding. This is just paint, but it looks like it. Looks pretty cool. And if you look at it while it's kind of being played, it looks fine. Now, however, if you look at it straight up and down like that, there's a bit of a offsetness to it. So you can get the 24 frets. So if you look at this, this actually acts more like a LTD Viper or ESP Viper, depending on who you ask. So it kind of has that thing going for it, but it is very similar to the Epiphone and the Gibson SG kind of thing, just by looking at it. You got the four knobs, but if you look, you can see the output jack is down here. It's not on top. That could be seen as a pretty big benefit for a lot of people. So that way, if you step on your cable, it just goes out. It doesn't break the top of the guitar. Pretty cool. Anyways, fantastic part about this guitar is the fit and finish. For $250, you get everything on it. It's smooth. It's polished. It's well-crafted. Nothing on here sticks out, hurts your hand. There's nothing weird. There's nothing oblong. It plays fantastically. I can't recommend that enough. The neck profile, arguably the biggest thing that most people kind of don't think about, but is the biggest factor in whether you like a guitar or not. The neck profile on this is excellent. I love it. I have smaller hands, so if you have big hands, you might be a little bit different. The neck profile is a U-shaped neck, so it has more chunk this way than it does this way. So think like a 60s slim neck, but with a thinner nut profile. So that means it leans more towards, like I was saying before, the LTD Viper, and then it does Epiphone and Gibson guitars. Those tend to have a slightly wider nut width. So it's wider this way and not so much this way, depending on what you get. If you like Gibson SG Specials, those tend to have much bigger necks, actually. It's very strange. But anyways, so the neck profile is excellent on it. I think it's fantastic. The frets are great too. They feel fine. You get 24 of them. That's why you get this big cutaway here, and the one down here is much lower. You get 24 frets. They had to move things down more. So again, more like an LTD Viper. This, if you look, that's a pretty good set neck. So the idea is usually for that price range, around $250, they strip things off of it. So this guitar, nothing like that. Comparably priced guitars fall much further behind. But then there's some cons. This is what I noticed in some of the other reviews for guitars like this. From Harley Benton is they don't talk about the cons too much, which is really strange because there are some cons. It doesn't outclass Epiphone or Gibson. It's not better. So if you get like an SG faded, like a Gibson SG faded, that's going to be miles ahead of this guitar. But it's also going to be like what? Triple, quadruple the price. Whereas Epiphone, for example, again, similar ideas, set neck. You get the pseudo binding. You get the nice cherry red, four knobs, pickup selector, all that stuff. All the normal bells and whistles that you'd get like from a SG Standard or a G400. But those are better. They're just slightly better. I think that the wood quality is much better on those guitars acoustically. Like when you play it, it's better on those guitars. This sounds a little bit brighter. It's not great. But it's okay. For $250, it plays phenomenally. You're not going to be getting something that sounds like a $1,000 guitar. So if you're looking for something that's a bit better, Epiphone is a bit better. They sound a bit better, but you're also paying twice the price. Another con I would say, though, is the switchcraft on this guitar is not the best. So, for example, you can look at this. This is where the, hey, I bought it used. This could be a thing I bought. Look at this. You can see how wobbly the pickup selector is. Not great. It works. Totally fine. But you can feel it's not the best quality. It clicks in, clicks out fine, but it feels kind of loose. And that's not because it's not bolted in. The nut right here is tight, so that's just the way it's made. The knobs are okay. They're a little hard to turn. I think if you get a Gibson or something like that, it's a lot easier to turn. PRS is really good about that. So it's okay. It's nothing right home about it. It works. It is fine. But I would say the biggest two factors that are not great are that loose pickup selector and the output jack. When you put that cable in there, it kind of fights you. And again, that's nothing. Not for 250 bucks, whatever. The tuners, though, they'll probably need to be replaced. I think they're okay. They get the job done. The tuners, when you get your hands on one and you tune it up and down, you actually feel it. You're going to be like, yeah, that's not a great gear ratio. That doesn't feel good. It does feel kind of like it's fighting itself. So the tuners, so the actual hardware that you interact with, not the best. But again, 250 bucks, get out of here. But again, for the price, we're really splitting hairs here. $250 versus like $500 new versus what, $1,800 new, depending on what you're getting. If you're getting a second guitar, this is where I think you would get your money's worth, 100%. You can't expect something perfect for this price range, but Harley is defying most expectations for this price, absolutely. So the final verdict, in my opinion, is Epiphones are a bit better. Gibson still reigns supreme as one of the best guitars you can buy, but Harley Benton is half the price of an Epiphone, but Epiphone is not twice as good. So if you can find a Harley Benton, this is the other part that kind of sucks, is it's hard to kind of find these. They sell out really quickly online. If you're trying to buy one used, they kind of stay at the normal price. They don't go for way less than they were new. I would buy one of these as a backup. That's what this guitar is for. If you're on a budget, if you're under 500 bucks, I don't think you can get a better guitar than this. If you have guitars like I do, I have tons. You've seen my videos probably. If you haven't, check it out. There's a whole bunch of reasons to buy this as a second guitar. It does the job perfectly fine. Would you record with it? It depends. It's up to you. But I think if you had the choice between a much more expensive Epiphone or getting a Gibson, you don't want to compromise much. A Harley Benton, the DC double cut, the DC-580, fantastic guitar. I can't recommend it enough. Don't expect it to replace your main guitar. If you bought an Epiphone, you're okay, actually. You didn't miss out. You just paid slightly more, or I shouldn't say slightly more. You paid a lot more for something that's better by only a little bit. So your wallet will thank you if you get one of these, if you're looking for something new, but you still need to be reasonable. So that's my opinion on the Harley Benton. I know this is a bit longer video than I usually do, but thanks for watching. Stay gnarly, everybody. All right, see ya.